Namaste and welcome to your everyday yoga practice. Right away, just going ahead and setting up your safe space so that you can feel comfortable and at ease. Turn off your phone and eliminate as many distractions as you can so that you can be fully present for your practice. When you are ready, you can arrive on your back body, laying in Shavasana. In today's class, you will move through many traditional yoga poses and sun salutations. And in each pose, you will have time to find your foundation and alignment, and then a time to find your breath. This is a great practice to come back to frequently for a full body yoga experience. In these first few moments of arriving onto your mat, allow the body to become completely heavy and relaxed. Tuning into any sensations that you feel in the physical body, any stiffness or discomfort, anywhere that feels soft and relaxed, supported by the mat underneath you. Notice the flow of your inhales and your exhales. Breathing in and feeling the chest rise, the lungs expand. And breathing out, letting the body sink heavier onto your mat. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice and for your day, you can bring that to your mind now. I will offer a couple of options if the mind is running blank. You can choose peace, clarity, or focus, or simply living with joy and creativity. Whatever is calling to you today, lean into it. Breathe and let your body be surrounded with this energy. Take a couple of slow breaths here, inhaling through the nose and out through the nose. Lengthening your inhales and your exhales. Take one of your deepest breaths yet and open the mouth, let it go. Gently bring some movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. You can roll out the wrists and the ankles in both directions. And taking a full body stretch. Yawning if you need to yawn. Lengthening through the entire body. And when you feel all stretched out, you can bring your arms back down to your sides and step your feet down to the mat. Making sure the low back is firmly rooted down. Bring your knees into your chest, wrapping your hands around the legs. Notice if stillness is what you need, and you can stay here. But if you'd like to sway from side to side, maybe circling the knees, find what movement feels good for you in the hips. Take one last breath here, finding stillness. And gently release the legs, stepping the feet back down. Reach the right arm overhead and roll over onto the right side body. Breathing into the back body, feeling the side expand. And breathing out, feeling the support of the mat underneath you. In your own time, slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seated position, closing down the eyes or softening the gaze, letting any sensations pass as you adjust to this upright position. Take a deep breath in and sweep the arms up high, maybe looking up. And take a breath out, slowly draw your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach your arms high. And exhale, hands to heart. One last time, inhale. And exhale. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up high overhead. And on your breath out, twist to the right, bringing the left hand to the knee. And the right hand is your anchor behind you. With your inhale, find length. And your exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, reach your arms up high, gaze comes forward. And exhale, twist to the left. Breathe in, lifting out of the hips, pressing the heart forward. And breathing out, twisting deeper. Breath in, come up through center, reaching your arms up high. And exhaling, bringing your hands down to heart. Plant the hands down to the mat in front of you and cross over the legs. Come into a child's pose. Big toes touch and the knees can open as wide as feels comfortable. Melting the heart down as you sink deeper into the physical body. Where can you send your breath? Where can you soften? Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. And slowly pulling yourself into a tabletop, stacking the joints, knees come under the hips and hands under the shoulders. Cat and cow, take an inhale, lift the gaze, drop the belly, the tailbone lifts. And exhale, curl through the spine, drawing your chin to your chest. Open between the shoulder blades. Breathe in, move through the spine, shine your heart forward. And exhale, gaze turns in. Use your breath as your guide here, moving as quickly or as slowly as you need to. Wherever you are, take one last cycle of breath. Coming back to a neutral spine at the end of your exhale. Walk the hands forward just a little so you can tuck over the toes and send the hips up into a downward facing dog. Let the body slowly come into this shape. Slowly lengthening out the backs of the legs, bending one knee and then the other. Lifting the tailbone high to the sky, gazes between your legs, melting your heart closer to the mat. Breathe in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Take one more cleansing breath, sighing out through the mouth. Then take a deep bend to the knees, travel to the top of your mat, inhaling into a flat back half lift. And exhale, fold forward, ragdoll pose. You can hold on to opposite elbows, maybe nodding the head yes and shaking it no, or swaying from side to side. And releasing the elbows if you have them here. Finding stillness. Soft bend to the knees. Begin to roll yourself all the way up to stand. Take a deep breath in. Sweep the arms up high. Palms will touch. And exhale, draw your hands to your heart space. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Release your arms to your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Grounding down through all four corners of your feet, finding length through the spine, reaching the crown of your head tall. Deep breath in, sweep the arms up high, palms will touch, and exhale, hands to heart. Again, breathing in and out. One last one, inhale and exhale. Good. Now take a deep breath in, reach your arms overhead, and breathe out, fold forward all the way down to the mat. Inhale, come into a halfway lift, bringing hands to thighs or the shins, and exhale, fold back down. Rise up, inhale, arms reach high, and exhale, hands to heart. Half sun salutation. We'll do a few more here. Inhale, arms high, and exhale, fold. Breath in, strong, flat back. Exhale, melt it down. Inhale, rising up, arms reach high. Grow tall. Exhale, close it down, hands to heart. Breathe in into the next one, arms high. And exhale, surrender the heart down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, ground down. Rise up with your breath in. And breath out, hands to heart. Take a full inhale. Reach your arms up high. And exhale, surrender down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, plant the hands, and then step your feet back to the bottom of your mat. Inhale, shift the weight forward, drop the knees. Lower to the mat, chaturanga, arms graze your sides. Inhale into baby cobra, lifting the heart just a couple of ribs off the mat. Option to float the palms here. Exhale, release the chest and hands to the mat, and press yourself up strong through plank and tabletop and into a child's pose. This is a great variation to any or all of the vinyasas in this practice. Inhale, come forward to your tabletop and into your downward facing dog. Deep bend into the knees, travel to the top of your mat, inhaling into a halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, arms reach high, and exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe in, arms reach overhead, grow tall, soften the shoulders. Exhale, melt the heart down. Inhale into a strong half lift. Exhale, melt the heart, plant the hands down and step back into your plank. Option for knees up or down. Shift forward, inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, inhale to baby cobra or lengthen through the arms, cobra pose. Exhale, melt the heart down to the mat. Press up strong through the hands to plank and tabletop, and we meet in downward facing dog. Deep bend into the knees, step or hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, melt the heart. Rise up with your inhale, and your exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. Feel free to take those variations. I'll cue upward facing dog. Inhale, arms reach overhead, and exhale, fold it down. Inhale, strong half lift, flat back, and exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or hop back into your chaturanga. Breathe in, shift the shoulders beyond the wrists, gaze is forward, lower down halfway. Inhale onto the tops of the feet, lift the heart, keep the thighs and hips lifted. Roll over the toes and lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Breathe. Beautiful job. Bend the knees, step or hop up to the top of your mat, inhaling right away to your half lift, and exhale, fold. Ride your inhale to stand, and exhale to close it down. We'll take 2 more vinyasas. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, step into your plank, lower chaturanga. Find your back bend of choice, either lowering to the mat or first pressing up to down dog. Bend into the knees, come up to the top of your mat, inhaling half lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. One last one. Sun salutation A. Breathe in and out, fold down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, ground down and step or hop to your plank. Inhale, shift forward and lower chaturanga, all the way or halfway. Baby cobra, cobra, or upward facing dog. And we meet in downward facing dog. Step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Rise up, breathe in. Breathe out, hands to heart. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet to about mat width apart and turn the heels in, toes out. Lift the heart and then sink the hips down into your yogi squat malasana. You can have the hips lifted, or you can press the elbows into the inner knees and sink the hips all the way down. Focus on lifting and opening the heart. Stay here. You can find an arm balancing pose, crow pose. Hands under the shoulders, heel toe the toes together. Then place your knees to the backs of the elbows as much and as high as you can. Point the toes, maybe lifting one leg and then the other. Maybe you can float both toes. Allow yourself to be free of any judgment and play around. When you're ready, step or hop back to your plank. Inhale, shift forward, lower chaturanga. Inhale into your back bend, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Full inhale and exhale. Step or hop up to the top of your mat. Right away, inhaling into a half lift and folding forward with your exhale. Rise up and bring hands to heart. Full breath in and full breath out. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold down. Inhale into your halfway lift. And exhale, fold, planting the hands. Step the left toes to the bottom of your mat. Runner's lunge. Start to slowly bring your hands onto the top of the right thigh with the heart tilted forward. Shift the weight forward and back on the back toes and then stop when the heel is as lifted as you can. Keep your hands to the thigh or swing your arms back for airplane, palms face together. Find power in this pose, one long line of energy from the heel to the crown of your head. Fire up with your breath. Take an inhale and sweep the arms slowly forward, pull the thumbs back, shoulders on top of hips, sink into the knee. Breathe in and maybe find a little back bend, pulling the thumbs behind you, opening across the chest. Inhale, find length, and exhale, open to warrior two, arms to the side, and the back foot spins parallel to the mat. breathing in and breathing out. We'll find reverse warrior. Flip the right hand up, leaning back. Keep the lunge into the right knee if you've lost it, and you can find a bind with the left arm, bringing it to the right hip crease if you'd like. Find warrior 2. Exhaling, drop the right hand or forearm to the right inner thigh. Sweep the left fingers to the sky, side angle. Stay here. You can reach the fingers overhead for a deep side bend, or you can reach to the right fingertips to the mat and find a bind, bringing the left hand behind the hips. Stay here, or you can reach the left hand back behind you and reach for the left fingers. Focus on opening the heart, pulling the left shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly release, opening the arms first, and then rise up, lengthen through the right leg, reverse triangle, the right fingers high, leaning back. Take an inhale, and exhale, bring your arms to your sides, reach forward with the right hand until you feel a stretch in the hamstring, and then drop the hand down. Stacking the shoulders, lift the left arm. If the knee is bending, lift the heart instead. Maybe that means your right hand is closer to the thigh. One last slow and steady breath. And with your next inhale, rising up, settle back into your warrior 2, rooting down through the right heel. Take 3 of your deepest breaths yet. On your next exhale, windmill your hands down and frame the front foot. Turn up onto the back toes and reach high with the right arm, twisted lunge. Take a breath in and drop the right hand down. Send the right toes either into a plank or a down dog. Moving through a vinyasa here if you'd like, finding your back bend. And we'll meet in a downward facing dog when you're ready. Travel to the top of your mat, bending into the knees and coming up into a halfway lift, folding down with an exhale. Rise up, breath in, and a breath out, hands to heart. Full inhale, reach your arms high, and exhale, surrender the heart down. Inhale into a half lift, and exhale, folding, melting the heart. Plant down through the hands. This time send the right toes back, lunging into the left knee. Runner's lunge, high on the back toes. And you can either sweep your arms back behind you to start or transitioning first with the hands to the leg. Bring intention into each one of your fingers, spreading across the collarbones with your breath in, empowering through the body with your breath out. Take an inhale and sweep the fingers up high, pulling the thumbs, the shoulders on top of the hips. Lunge into the left knee. Breathe. Gently pulling the right hip forward and the left hip back, and then sinking deeper. Maybe finding that crescent moon, leaning back with the thumbs, pulling the chest open, and then opening into your warrior 2. Spin the back heel down, lunge into the left heel, pulling the shoulders on top of the hips. Make sure that the left knee isn't curling inwards, but it's rather strong on top of the ankle. Breathe in, lift the left palm up and overhead. Reverse warrior, option for the bind, right hand wraps around the body. Breathe in. Breathe out, come back to warrior 2. The left forearm comes to the inner thigh and reach the right arm to the ceiling. Staying here, or you can reach the fingers over to the front of your mat. And you can transition into the bind if you'd like. First, lengthening the left fingers to the mat and the right arm comes to the back body. Reach the left palm around the leg. Maybe you can reach the finger. Open the chest. Slower than you want to come out of the bind, opening the arms first, and transitioning up into your warrior two. And then straighten the left leg, reach the left arm overhead, reverse triangle. Maybe bringing your gaze back and breathe deeply into the left side body. Trikonasana, come back through center and reach the left fingers forward. Dropping the left hand down wherever it feels comfortable. If you are hypermobile, make sure that you're not overextending through the left knee, a tiny micro bend. Breathe in across the chest and breathe out. Inhale, rising up, rebend the left knee, settle warrior two. Maybe closing down the eyes for just a few more strong breaths here. Windmilling the hands down, frame the foot, turn onto the back toes, and sweep the left fingers high, bending deeply into the left knee, dropping the hips, almost opening the chest up to the sky. Plant the hand down and step your foot back for a vinyasa into your plank or into your downward facing dog if you would like a break. Find your back bend of choice if you're flowing, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Begin to walk your hands towards your toes at the bottom of your mat. Slowly rise up to stand. Roll the shoulders up to the ears and slide them down the back, palms flip forward, Tadasana. Begin to ground down, bringing your hands to your hips. Tune in to the natural sway of the body. Maybe begin to shift the weight from side to side, testing out your balance. We're moving into our balancing sequence here. Bring the weight into the left foot. Then step forward with the right foot, just a small step. Then plant it down and transfer the weight all the way into the right leg, floating the left toes off the mat. You can find a little bit of a dance, lifting and lowering the toes and tilting the torso as if it's one flat line from the heel to the crown of the head. Option to come into warrior three, almost creating the shape of a capital T. Reach your arms back, maybe reach them forward, or you can have them at heart center. Stay engaged through the back leg, the toes. They can be either flexed or pointed. Take another breath here and start to slowly rise up, keeping the left foot lifted, tapping the toes beside the right foot. Open the left knee into tree pose. You can have the toes to the mat, or you can slide the foot to the inner calf or the inner thigh, reaching down with the hand. With every inhale, find length through the spine, growing tall. And with every exhale, pushing that left knee further out. Expressing yourself, your arms as your branches. Maybe arms overhead, out to the sides, or even at heart center. Whatever you feel called here, ground down. Gently close the knee in and step the foot back down to the mat, bringing hands to heart. Step backwards just a little bit here, and we'll take it to the other side. Weight comes all the way into the right leg. And take a soft step forward with the left foot, bringing the weight into the left leg. And you can slowly tap the right toes off the mat, lifting and lowering or finding warrior three, expressing your arms however you'd like, hands to your hips, out to the sides, whatever you need. Try to keep the right hip in line with the left. Ever so slowly, with balance and control, soft bend into the left knee, rising up, tapping the right toes beside the left foot. Open the right knee, find your variation of tree pose. Again, even though you're staying still in this posture, with your breath in, you're energetically reaching the crown of your head up to the sky and pulling the right knee further out to the side. Hold strong with your intention, with your breath. When you're ready to leave tree pose, you can slowly close the right knee forward and softly step it down. Breathe in, reach the arms high. Exhale, swan dive forward, a little reset into the spine. Rise up right away, big reach of the arms, and exhale, hands to heart. Lift the left foot off the mat and step it to the bottom of your mat, turning to face the left side. Open the arms, wide-legged forward fold, hinge until you feel a sensation into the hamstrings. Let go of the ego as you enter this pose, supporting yourself however you need. Maybe the hands under the shoulders, or reaching them forward or back behind the legs. You can also interlace the hands behind the back body and release the fist overhead, getting a deep stretch into the shoulders. Gently release the hands if you had them in the bind and press yourself up into a halfway lift. Exhale, melt the heart down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Last one here, inhale and exhale. Come back up, half lift, and begin to walk your hands forward. Heel toe the right foot to the side of your mat, finding your lizard. Drop the back knee down and untuck the toes when you're ready. Sinking into the hips. If you need, you can have a block under your hands. You can also lower down onto the forearms, deepening the stretch this way. You can roll onto the outside of the right foot. Maybe closing and lifting the knee, however feels best. Another variation that might feel good in the body is to press the right hand to the inner knee and press it away from you. You can also close the knee in, send the hips slowly back to the heel, and reach back with the right hand to the toes. Then ever so slowly, inch the hips back down into your lunge, stretching into the quad and the hip flexor. You can roll back onto the right side of the foot, opening the knee for just a few more breaths. Release the toes, plant the hand down, and then heel toe the right foot over to the left side of your mat, dropping the right knee to the right wrist for pigeon pose. If pigeon pose doesn't feel good in your body, you can take fallen deer, rolling onto the right hip, sliding the shin parallel to the top of your mat and the left shin to the side of your mat. And you can fold forward over the leg that way, or you can find sleeping pigeon, lowering onto the forearms. Letting the head rest heavy, maybe melting it down to the mat. And breathe here. You can stay here for as long as you would like. Otherwise, if you'd like to move through a couple of variations in pigeon pose, you can start to make your way up onto the hands. If you are in fallen deer, I don't recommend that you do these next variations. Walk your hands to frame around the right knee, maybe reaching the right hand towards the back of the left thigh, opening the heart and releasing. Walk your hands over towards the left side. Feel the shift and the movement in the hips. Maybe bring the left arm to the back of the leg. And you can optionally kick up the back toes, holding it into your hand, maybe reaching the right hand high. Or you can even find mermaid pose or king pigeon, whatever feels best. You can bring the toes to the crook of the elbow and grasp your fingers behind the head. Whenever you're ready to come out of this pose, gently bringing the hands to the mat, releasing the toe if you had it. Roll all the way onto the right hip and slide the right knee to the center of your mat. Bring the left foot all the way outside of the right thigh. If you notice that the left hip is lifting off the mat and you're not firmly rooted down, you can extend the right leg long. Otherwise, holding Lord of the Fishes, you can bring the left hand as your anchor behind you, and then take a deep breath in, reach the right fingers to the sky, and exhale, twist to the leg, hooking the right elbow outside the knee. If this is uncomfortable in the arms, you can always hug the leg in. Full belly breaths, try to stay upright. Take one last inhale. And exhale, spin all the way around to the right, lowering the hands down to the sides of your mat into a little push-up. Inhale, press yourself back up and cross all the way over the legs. Come into a downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs. And you'll find your lizard pose when you're ready, stepping the left foot outside of the left wrist, dropping the right knee down and untucking the toes. Allowing the hips to settle, you can use a block. You can lower onto forearms, open the knee, or pressing with the left hand to the inner thigh. If you would like to find that quad stretch, I recommend closing the knee and then sending the hips back, reaching back with the left hand for the right toes, and then slowly sinking back down into the hips. And this is just to help the hamstring a little bit here, letting it do less work. Gently releasing the toes, plant the hands under the shoulders, and slide the left foot over towards the right wrist. So you can drop the knee down to the wrist, finding your pigeon pose, or rolling onto the hip, sliding the right knee to the side of your mat for fallen deer. Finding whichever variation you'd like to here, melting the heart down to the mat or staying lifted. Focus on breathing slowly and observing the body. Stay in sleeping pigeon, or you can find those variations. Walking the hands to frame around the left knee, pulling the right hip forward. Option to reach the left hand around to the right hip. Open the heart. And gently release. Walk your hands to the right. Lift this heart space and sink deep into the hips. Slide the right arm down the leg. Maybe you pick up the toes, bending into the knee. noticing any differences in the body from one side to the other. You can find whichever variation with the arms. Listen to the body. Releasing whatever variation you have, bring your hands to the top of the mat and slide the left knee into the center of your mat, rolling onto the left hip. Finding that seated twist, spin that right foot all the way to the top of your mat, stepping it outside the left leg. Knowing that you can always extend the left leg long if the right hip is lifted. Bring the right hand around behind the hips as your anchor. Take a deep breath in and reach the left fingers up high to the sky. And a breath out, twist to the right, hooking the left elbow outside the knee. With every inhale, you find length. And exhale, you find space to twist a little deeper. One more full inhale. And exhale, twist around to the left side of your mat, lowering into a push-up. Should feel really good through the spine. Press yourself up, unbind the legs, and slowly lower onto your back body for our last few poses here. Stepping the feet down to the mat, settle and notice how you feel. Feel the breath, the heartbeat, tuning into your energy. Slide the feet a little bit closer towards the glutes so you can tickle the backs of your ankles with your fingers. Pressing down through the palms, begin to lift the tailbone off the mat until you feel a stretch into the quads. From here, you can wiggle the shoulders underneath you and maybe interlacing the fingers, pressing the hips up even more. Breathe across the belly, pulling the rib cage down with your breath out. Slowly lower all the way to the mat, releasing the hands vertebrae by vertebrae. Breathe. You can take a second set of bridge pose, or you can take wheel. Bring the hands by the ears, by the shoulders, fingers point towards the hips. Bring the heels close towards you and lift up the tailbone just as you would for bridge. Keep lifting, press through the hands and bring the top of the head to the mat. Then power up through the arms and the thighs, lift the belly. Find your wheel, maybe lift the heels or experiment with whichever variation you may like to try. To come out of this, draw your chin to your chest, finding length in the back of your neck and slowly lower down back to the shoulders. Vertebrae by vertebrae, coming back down until you can gather your knees into your chest, giving yourself a great big hug filled with gratitude and warmth. Let sensation pass. Stepping the feet back down to the mat, knees are bent. Open the arms out either into a T or into a cactus. You can pick up the hips and bring them over to the right side of your mat, and then drop your knees over to the left, stacking the hips. If you'd like to take a deeper twist, you can cross the right leg on top of the left, maybe wrapping the toes around the calf. The gaze will turn right. Take full and deep belly breaths. Gently squeeze the belly so you can lift the legs, undoing the bind. Taking whatever supine twist here you'd like, shuffling the hips over to the left and dropping the knees to the right. Gaze will come over to the left. Full breaths. Gently lifting out of the twist, float the legs and undo the bind. Stepping your feet down to the mat, finding a neutral position, gather your knees into the chest. You can take any last little bits of movement your body might be craving before your Shavasana. Maybe happy baby, wind reliever. You can bring the soles of the feet to touch, opening the knees for a deep stretch into the hips. And you can even settle into reclined cobbler's pose here, releasing the feet down to the mat, knees open like a book. Place the right hand onto the belly and your left hand onto your heart. Connect with your breath. Feel the intention that you set, the energy that you've built and created running through the body. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. If you'd like to take a different variation for Shavasana, you can have the feet stepped down to the mat at the sides of the mat and the knees together. Or you can have the legs extended long, your arms at your side in corpse pose, wherever you will feel most supported and relaxed. Using this time to absorb all the benefits of your practice, mental and physical. Letting your breath come to a neutral and soft pace. Relax and soften the body, letting the toes fall off to the side, the hips supported. Feel the mat underneath your shoulder blades and the crown of your head. Soften into your jaw, relaxing the tongue off of the roof of your mouth. Relax the cheeks, between the eyebrows, the forehead. You still have a few more minutes here. I'll call you back when it's time to end the practice. Take a gentle breath in of awareness. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, rolling out the wrists and the ankles, slowly coming back into the physical body. Take a full body stretch, pointing the toes, stretching across the abdomen, and bringing your arms back to your sides when you're ready, gathering your knees into your chest for one last hug. Yogi's choice, you can rock along the spine to come up into a seat, or you can roll onto the side body. We'll close off our practice with a final breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up high, palms touch. And exhale, draw your hands to your heart space. The light in me sees, acknowledges, and honors the light in you, and knows that they are the same. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed the practice and that you have a wonderful rest of your day.